Hello everyone, let us start with revising the chapter Keeping Quiet. Keeping Quiet is a splendid poem by Pablo Neruda that dwells on quality which seems to have been lost in the buzz of 21st century. It means the quality of silence. Nowadays we see that switching off, that is cutting off from everything like social media and toxic things around us is considered as regenerating ourselves. It gives us time for self-reflection. This poem totally introspects on self-analysis. It tells us sadness of never understanding ourselves. If we look at what we are, if we give ourselves time to reflect on what we did, what we actually can do, that is actual regeneration of ourselves. Often, life revolves around pointing out at others, and here, poet tells how we can stand still and think about ourselves first, rather than pointing out beliefs and flaws in others. Theme of this poem is an anti-war poem. It gives us message that universal brotherhood and peace is very important. It urges people to stop aggression, including that towards the environment. The title of poem is quite appropriate and logical. It suggests necessity of quiet introspection. There are many literary devices and figure of speeches in this poem. Firstly, we can see the term language is an instant of metonymy, which is a symbol or sign used for things signified. And arms is an instant of pun. In pun, duplicity of sense is created because of unity of sound. Arm here stands for a body part as well as a weaponry. Sudden strangeness. Here we can see the sound S is repeated in sudden as well as in strangeness. Same is with heels, hurt, hands. H sound is repeated thrice. Hence, in both sentences, we see this figure of speech is alliteration. Wars with fire, wars with gas. Here we can see paleologia as figure of speech. The difference between basic repetition and paleologia is that paleologia has separated words repeated in same sentences, whereas in repetition we see continuity between many words that are getting repeated. Earth can teach us. Here we can see Earth is personified. Therefore, the figure of speech is personification. Symbolism is abundant in keeping quiet, where fisherman and whale stands for oppressor and oppressed respectively. Salt gatherer is symbolic of humanity, whereas clean cloth symbolizes peace. The rhyme scheme of this poem is a blank verse. Let's move towards question. You can read the summary if you want to. Basically, if we see the introduction part, if any question is asked and you don't know the appropriate answer, you can simply use this highlighted keywords and combine them to create a beautiful paragraph. It will definitely fetch you some marks. Extract based question. Extract number 1. The poet's intention in the first line is to give clarification to the readers. Question 2. Select the option that best explains the stand of poet in the expression "I want no truck with death." Truck means exchange here. I mean, he wants no exchange to death. Here he assures that he has not convincing that total inactivity is same as death. He assures that he does not advocate death in his terms. State whether the given statement is true or false with reference to the extract. According to poet, keeping quiet is to blame for the condition of threatening ourselves with death. No, keeping quiet is failing to understand ourselves is to blame for it. It does not mean threatening ourselves with death. The essence of poem Keeping Quiet lies in introspection. This poem reflects on how we introspect ourselves and how good is our intra-emotional balance. The use of word perhaps suggests that the poet is unsure yet optimistic. What is the tone of poet in the expression if we were not so single-minded? He critically asserts that we human beings understand a lot of things but fail to understand our own self. It, in other words, it can say we all tend to have this unidirectional thinking where everybody else affects us and we don't accept it. Second extract. The poet uses the word let's to invite readers as part of the poem's larger call to humanity. Margaret Atwood said, language divides us into fragments. I wanted to be whole. Choose the option that correctly comments on the relationship between her words and the line from the above extract. Let's not speak in any language. Atwood endorses Neruda's call to not speak in any language. This is because language creates barriers, so we shouldn't use language to converse. We need to have heart to heart connection. Often, when people have different languages, there is a tendency to cause violence because of misunderstandings. That's why here the poet emphasizes on making heart to heart connections rather than talking in some specific languages which are very prone to fights. The poet employs words like exotic and strangeness, which suggest which idea? Okay, so word exotic and strangeness means mysteriously different or something that we haven't experienced before. So these words actually highlight the usual mad race for owning things which is very much part of human life. Basically, exotic and strangeness suggest the idea of running behind materialistic things and ignoring what is actually necessary. Actual necessity of the hour is introspecting ourselves and realizing what we want rather than achieving what people want us to have. State whether the given statement is true or false. With reference to the extract by the idiom on the face of earth, poet means existence. True. Earth here symbolizes how the life's existence is. I mean, in this poem, we can see Earth is personified when often Earth regenerates itself, like in some season, autumn, and all the leaves are shredded, and it seems like a bizarre condition But when, again, Earth regenerates itself and proves its existence and that life goes on, there is no there's no pause to it. I mean, it gives itself time to self-reflect, and that is when it sheds all its leaf and regenerates itself. Complete the sentence appropriately. The poet keeping quiet feels that some soul searching is needed for us to be fully satisfied inside out, to be at peace with ourselves and others. That is, poet wants us to introspect and cleanse our soul. Let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second. Which poetic device is used here? Anaphora is used as there is repetition of lets in two consecutive lines. Now let's move to the third extract. What do you think is the mood of poet in the above extract? Introspective and aware. And he wants to share this mood with others. He wants to communicate his feelings and importance of self-reflection. Pick the option that does not complete the given sentence suitably as per the extract. Threatening ourselves with death challenges finiteness of life. This option is definitely not fitting into the blank because death is inevitable. There is no point of raising a threat against it. What does the phrase "use silence" signify? It signifies the deep understanding and the realization of truth. What is the expectation of a poet from all human beings? The poet wants global peace and harmony. He wants human beings to stop all the destructive activities. Complete the sentence appropriately. The tone of poem keeping quiet is, since the poet is urging his readers to stay silent and still, he himself adopts a very tranquil, serene tone to set the mood of poem. Tranquil and serene means calm and peaceful. What message do these lines highlight with reference to the materialistic world? Humans have sacrificed their emotional needs in race of materialistic world. They have lost their mental satisfaction while fulfilling their ambitions, which has made them sad and secluded. Read the fourth stanza. Okay, so what does the earth teach us? It teaches us stillness does not mean inactivity. Even if you're still, you're doing some activity and you're causing the regeneration of your inner self. What does the poet want to achieve by counting up to 12? He wants us to introspect. From the given extract, give an example of what now seems to be dead, but later becomes alive. Seed. A seed remains latent until it's sprouted and then suddenly develops root and shoot, which depicts emergence of life. So this is a good question. It can be asked how seed depicts emergence of life. Mainly the questions asked here are on symbolism and importance of earth, seed, the people collecting salt, fishermen. So you must read these things. Complete the sentence appropriately. This poem is not an activist call to action, but a philosopher's call to introspection. State whether the given statement is true or false. The poet's writing style in the poem is very sarcastic and harsh. False, because poet's writing style in the poem is very soulful and it gives us the sense of calmness and peacefulness. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Identify the poetic device used for earth. Personification. Now let us see some short answer type questions. Give two reasons why, according to Pablo Neruda, keeping quiet is essential to attaining a better, more peaceful world. This is because keeping quiet makes us introspect and reflect upon our self actions. It helps us better understand ourselves and what we want. It enables us to realize that many of our mindless actions are only harming us and not giving us happiness. In a world that is constantly running after more, chasing the next new thing, would it be fair to think of Neruda's call as merely a fanciful idea? Yes, the call of Neruda is good, but more fanciful in nature. However, in case we are able to keep quiet, then it would affect life in and around the earth in two ways. By keeping quiet, the fisherman will not kill whales for some time. Also, salt gatherers will get some time to heal their wounded hands. It emphasizes how one gets time to heal and how one gets time to not harm others, not harm nature. And both human beings and nature will get some time to attend and recover from their wounds. Thus, it will give time to everyone for introspection. The world has become a global village, and people across boundaries, nationalities, and communities are now connected to one another. With the advancement of technology and advent of social media, do you think that the task of keeping quiet, as envisaged by Neruda, has become easier or more complicated? Justify your stance. World has become global village. The people from all over the world are interconnected with each other with the help of transport and communication means. People use many transport means like buses, cars, airplanes, ships in order to travel from one place to another place for traveling purposes or for the purpose of meeting their loved ones. In today's era, social media including Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat has become a huge platform by which the people from all over the world are interconnected with each other. So the task of keeping quiet has become easier. What does Neruda mean by exotic movement without rush? Here the poet means when everyone would be quiet, it would be exciting and a thrilling moment. Because there will be no rushing of everyday work, no sound of machines polluting the environment. It will be a moment of introspection and universal brotherhood. Some commonly made errors include those students know about the exotic moment asked for in the question, they fail to answer why this moment was exotic. You should remember the reason of exoticness of this moment because this is the moment where someone is analyzing himself deeply, where everything else is silent, still, and calm. This moment is totally of introspection and it results in universal brotherhood because everybody understands themselves better and give time for themselves to not hurt others and heal their inner wounds. The students must try to read the poem from poet's mind to get an idea of what poem wants to convey. Basically, this poem is very surreal in today's time. The deep meaning it has is really beneficial from all point of views. The way we say meditation is very important for our health because Meditation gives us time to analyze ourselves, calm our mind, calm our soul. So, this is a very realistic and meaningful poem in today's life. How will keeping quiet protect one's environment? It will protect our environment as it will give everyone time to introspect and to think about the consequences of their actions. Human beings will not harm other creatures and all wars will come to an end. Man will not indiscriminately exploit nature of his vested interest and harm himself. What does Neruda wish fishermen and warmongers do? He wishes that fishermen give time for himself to introspect and warmongers also give time to themselves to introspect because if they give time to themselves, they will see how much harm they are causing to others and also to themselves because if they win war, who will see the victory? Because everyone will be dead. The victory will be of no use. Give example from keeping quiet to show that Neruda was peace loving. He was peace loving throughout the poem. He tells everyone to keep quiet and introspect. That will be the time when there will be no grain war or chemical war or nuclear war. No animals will be hunted. Everyone will keep arms still and introspect. He also appealed to fishermen to stop harming whales and warmongers to shun aggression and maintain peace. According to Pablo Neruda, how would keeping quiet be an exotic moment? It will be exotic moment because no movement of cars, no rush, no machine, not working, complete silence. The strange and exoticness will unite everyone. Long answer type question. It could be said that poem Keeping Quiet presents the poet's philosophy of different kind of world. If you were asked to highlight the elements of Neruda's vision that resonate in your specific social, political, and cultural context, which three main ideas would you engage with? Use relevant textual details to support your analysis. Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda might be one of the most beautiful poems ever written. In it, he encourages us to keep quiet and still, even just for a second. It is an it is an invitation for us to take part in nature. It is about re-encountering our true essence so that we can all embrace kindness and respect. And that way, each piece that's out of place will fit in where it belongs. The idea of silence or keeping quiet is definitely a recurring theme in field of psychology, but you can't forget the artistic and literary world have always given it a ton of value. Claude Debussy said that silence is nothing more than what's between one note and another, and in the way it is what gives so much force and beauty to every piece of music. George Louis Borges also talked about how the beauty and depth of silence are eye-opening, and in one of his poems he said, "It is what helps you to remember who you are and what you love." But out of all these poetic and musical works, the message Neruda gave us, with his side odd and keeping quiet, stands out above all the rest of few specific reasons. It is an invitation to stop moving, to pause the grinding of your internal gears and rethink the empty, artificial meaning of things. He wanted you to remember what's actually most important. The last 2 years of school tend to be about planning for life after school. This can be motivating, overwhelming, encouraging for some, and stressful to others. Write a diary entry recording your thoughts on the following. Neruda's ideas in keeping quiet as a guide in the situation, thinking differently about decisions with reference to Neruda's keeping quiet. I feel the diary entry would include self-introspection process before because you need to know what you want. You you need to set your goals realistically apart from this materialistic world and how you want to achieve the process, how you'll handle the stress of of sudden change in your life. You need to be calm and serene. Okay, so let's read the diary entry. You must notice the format. Don't mess with format because it will definitely affect your marks. July 23. Dear Diary, after completing schooling, there are numerous things I want to do and accomplish in my life. My admirations aren't much different than average person, but it will still take a lot of hard work to get to know where I want to be. I have many goals, but to accomplish these goals, I have to get through many obstacles that could get in the way. Even though I have not finished creating my goals and aspirations, I have many. The two of most important are to be happy and successful. I want to be happy because even if I become rich or famous, even if I'm not happy in life, nothing else would matter. This this sentence written shows exactly how keeping quiet tells us to prioritize emotional valuable things over materialistic things. Success for me is simply doing something that I have always wanted to do. That in itself is quite an achievement. First, I want to attend college and law school. After I start working for a few years, I plan to settle down, get married, and have children. I still want to have a career, but I want to raise a family too. I'm not sure what will happen after this or that even this will take place because I can't really plan out my life. Life is an unpredictable thing. This shows the acceptance of what's going on and self realization that everything we ask for is not what we get. There are many obstacles that may get in the way of pursuing my goals. You never know what will happen next. Some of the obstacles are getting admission in good college and law school. It takes a lot of studying, hard work, and determination in becoming a lawyer. I know if I stay focused, I have the power to get over the obstacles that stand in my way. Determination, my bad. Determination is not a teachable skill, but it has to take place to accomplish goals in life. This is all about the poem Keeping Quiet. So just remember all the keywords, especially the things like importance of self realization, importance of self reflection, introspection, also how stillness can regenerate our inner self, and how important it is to prioritize valuable things like emotions, family, brotherhood over materialistic things like money and fame and power. Thank you. I hope you liked the video.